I was just going to say, Kevin. No, thank you. What I would just say is the reason, Kevin, that that's true is because the level of energy that I'm producing, the level of clearing that I'm producing, is really almost unimaginable. That the Ascension Energy Program is producing is almost unimaginable. In fact, I won't even go there. Let's just to say that as I sit in my office and I'm surrounded by these machines, it's just absolutely unbelievable to watch how the stuff, they almost react as a living thing. And in a way they are, because of the sum total of everybody on them, plus myself. Of course, I'm on them as well. And so the machines are actually escorting us to a very highly ascended state compared to anybody else out there. And that's why, over a period of time, anything else besides your own particular path becomes pretty much irrelevant. You can handle things. Everything is going to be fine because you're creating your own reality. And the reality that you're creating is becoming more and more refined as you become more insightful into exactly what you want in your reality. And please understand, I'm not kidding people out there. You are creating your own reality every single second. You have that kind of power. And the machine gives you the capability over a period of time to remove enough negativity to understand it and utilize this ascension. What this particular plane does is it puts up the subterfuges like a magician, a distracting thing. The distraction in most cases is fear. Once that fear is removed over a period of time, you begin to realize what the game is. The game is to produce fear so that we don't get out of this plane. Once the fear is removed, there starts to be, I can tell you at this point where I am, there's a transition into another way of looking at things. You actually can make things happen. I won't use the word magic because that's an overused term, and I'm not even sure that's true. But what I see is that you can actually create, maybe you guys can chime in this, I don't know, you actually begin to create your own reality. You begin to create the kind of reactions that people, the kind of reactions you want from people. You create the kind of job situations or economic situations that you want. You have that kind of power over a period of time, and always did have that kind of power when the negativity is removed. Would anybody have an insight on that?
Yeah.
Kevin or Plato, would you say that would be what you're seeing?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my goal, once I got laid off from my job was to, make my businesses productive to the point that I don't have to go back to that. And, so far that's not happening. And as a matter of fact, today when I go off, I live very close to Midtown Manhattan where everybody's working. I went to get lunch and I'm looking around at everybody on the street, and most people, they're just so wrapped up in this, negative survival mode, and it's like almost like a bunch of slaves, and they're in this particular reality. And I think back and say, wow, you know what? At one time, I was in that reality too, and I wanted to get out of it. And now I'm kind of out of it. It's not there anymore. And it doesn't mean that I don't occasionally have, worries about where's the money coming from or something like this. But what I've noticed, like Bill says, if you really focus on the negativity, which is something that it goes really counterintuitive, because most people say, if you focus on the negativity, it will just grow. But if you focus on it while you're under the influence of Bill's machine, what happens is you actually kind of go through it and it come out the other side, and you're like, what was that stuff? I don't care because it's gone now anyway, and you just go back to being happy. And I mean, periodically, of course, I will get maybe really angry at something, but a lot of times it's just my own stuff, that has nothing to do with what's really going on in front of me, and it's just like you're dredging up junk from the basement and saying, you know what, I don't need this anymore. You just throw it out and walk away. But you have to pick it up and look at it and not be scared of it, and that's how I found it works for me.
Yeah, what happens is you're directing the power of your own divinity to basically produce ecstasy. In other words, we're all promised, we're all given ecstasy. We're all given bliss. We're all given every single blessing that we ever wanted from the Holy Spirit. It's there. All we have to do is accept it. These life circumstances are interpreted by the ego to be less than optimal, but that's just because the person doesn't understand what's going on. This is not a mental trick. It's a fact. Once you understand that every circumstance that occurs in front of you or to you is some kind of a blessing to let you rise to a higher level, then you rise to a higher level. By looking at these negative things and really concentrating on them, you take the negativity out. By the use of the machine, you take the negativity out and you understand the blessing. And then all of a sudden the fear goes away because there's nothing to be afraid of. And what's really happening more than anything else is you're taking these layers and layers of fear off and allowing divinity to begin, as it was mentioned in the Bible. You're the temple of the Holy Spirit. That was actually what it was meant. You know, when you are potentially one with the Holy Spirit, that's what was meant. Once you understand that, then in a small way or a powerful way or whatever you want to call it, certainly the best way I'm aware of, that's what the machine produces. So what we're doing here is we're allowing the gifts of the Holy Spirit, to me and in this particular case, to manifest for all of you. I don't take credit for this, as I told you before. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the gifts of the Holy Spirit given to me to produce bliss and ecstasy in the highest level for me. Bliss in the highest level of ecstasy for me is to produce something that causes a paradigm change in the human race that's absolutely permanent, and I love every bit of it. As I've told Kevin before, when I retired when I was 45 in 1992, I asked to be an exorcist. That was what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. Well, removing negativity is a form of exorcism. I think it's a very important form of exorcism, probably the most important form of exorcism. So I'm getting exactly what I'm asking for. I'm getting all the blessings I'm asking for. I'm giving them to you guys to basically do whatever you want to with them, because it'll always be positive. You can't be on the machines unless you're positive. You're either positive or you're gone. Just as simple as that. And this is what's coming out of it. So in a way, strangely enough, I'm sitting here watching the movie just like you guys are. I happen to be a little bit more aggressive participant because I'm making some of the things happen. But over a period of time, who knows who's going to run with it? Who knows what's going to do? Who's going to do what? And great if they do. That's the way I look at it. Any other comments?
Well, I have a couple more anecdotal stories from people as far as feedback goes. And there's another woman that I put on recently who's she's a friend of mine. She's a tarot card reader, and she had a very tragic experience where her partner basically dropped dead, one night, and she woke up and he was dead, And, she's never been the same since then. For like 3 years, I've been trying to help her out, and nothing really was working, and she was not motivated to really do anything and kind of live life on autopilot. So finally, after, 2 months of saying, oh, yeah, just call Bill, you go on the machine, blah, blah, don't worry about it. She finally, I had to call you up and put her on the phone, and now, fast forward like 3 weeks later, I met her the other day, and she's like I didn't see, you see right through people with this stuff. I didn't see the baggage. The baggage was going, but it goes from the inside out, not the outside in. And then I had noticed that she looks younger. She's glowing, and it's still a work in progress, but I literally see this. I see people drop the baggage, and then their life will change. But it's a process that maybe takes root another month or two where they begin to take real active steps in changing their lives. But it really does come from the inside out, and it really does come from cleansing that deep soul pain, that deep emotional pain that is held, inside of us. And this is what the machine does. It will cleanse the things that you're not even aware of. And then it flows inside out. And then the physical body will respond, so you begin to see regeneration effects. Your voice will begin to change. All these things I'm really noticing. I'm watching, I'm looking. I see them in other people. I see them in myself. The patterns happen in cycles. I see it with the people around me. It really does work, and it's exciting just to watch how people change over a period of time. That's about it.
Plato, how are you doing on your water?
I feel pretty good.
You need to take another drink. You're back down to 90 again because the stuff that you're clearing out has blocked out the water. Could you take another glass?
Sure.
I want you to get back up there again because you're going to have another feeling after you build yourself back up again.